Hello guys, welcome to Banter Blitz. This time not according to normal schedule. So normally on Tuesdays there is a training Tuesday on Chess 24, but this week is quite hard for me, so I decided to go with two banters. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to prepare new material for training Tuesday, and there is another reason I'm quite ill, and basically, yeah, this also affects the stuff. So my voice is definitely not ideal, but I hope you can still understand what I'm talking about. All right, so let's continue with typical stuff. I'm going to check if we have challenges from people I've never played before, but as far as I understand, this time we're not going to have a lot of challenges in general because, probably because of the schedule, right? So people didn't expect it. So there is one challenge from Ihre Dudeheit. We have never played before, so I'll accept this challenge for sure. And I'm playing with white pieces. Let's go. Hey, dude. So e4, d6, d4, knight to f6, f3. That's what I usually play against this order of moves, because in this case we can play d5 compared to knight to c3 move. As we can see, I have this c4 option, which helps me keep much better center compared to the situation when the pawn remains on c2. All right, so let's continue with normal development. Now the question is how to proceed. So there are different options, obviously. Since the file is already open, I don't think I'm going to castle queenside, so instead I'll do everything to castle the other side of the board quickly, and then we will see what to do. So I have some space advantage already, and a6 looks a bit strange to me because it weakens the knight on b6, and there is no knight f6 to d7 possibility, so the first move that comes to my mind is just queen to b3 attacking the knight, and this move should force the knight away, which may just give me an extra pawn, I believe, maybe even more. So if knight goes to c8, let's say we take on b7, and the rook has no moves. Wow, so this is already quite bad for black. So a6 is a very strange move. I mean, I didn't even get the idea behind it, to be honest. Right, let's just take on b7. So as we can see, black doesn't have enough space to save the rook because knight doesn't have moves. d6 and e7 are covered by, the squares are just engaged by other pieces, and b6 and a7 were controlled by my bishop and my queen. Rook b8 doesn't help. I just take the rook, come on. And I have an extra rook. Yeah, it's over. So pretty simple win, to be honest. And the main mistake is, of course, a6. But if black doesn't play a6, black is anyway, quite passive here. But indeed, it was possible to play it. So probably something like queen to c7 could have been played. But this move may lead to rook to c1. And it's not clear where to put the queen. But who knows, maybe there is no direct threat and something like rook to c8 is possible, in which case, if the knight jumps somewhere, it's okay just to go back to d8. By the way, it's a typical maneuver, so you bring another rook to c8, then queen gets back to d8, and you kind of have much better coordination between your heavy pieces. That's what I mean. So this was interesting. Maybe simple rook to c8 was acceptable, intended knight to c4 jump, in which case I think white has to control c4 somehow, maybe with the help of simple queen b3 again, then intending to play a4, a5, grabbing even more space. So I think white's position is quite pleasant here. Instead of performing all these maneuvers, I believe the best plan for black is to play bishop e7, and then after something like bishop to e3, knight to h5, intending this bishop to g5, quickly trying to get rid of the dark square bishop, which is quite passive here. All right. Okay, let's see what we have here. Thanks for the game. Do we have somebody else I've never ever played before? No. Every challenge is coming from a player I've played at least one game against. So I'll just go one by one. So the next one is Onam. Usually we play with Onam closer to the end of the show, but this time it's a bit different. So there is a comment from Irodudheid. So knight to c5 is a normal move. Sleeped. So probably you wanted to play knight to c5 instead of knight to b6. Well, even in that case, if I simply go away with the bishop to c2, then the knight is quite vulnerable there. I want to play b4. And if you play a5, you weaken b5 square forever. And, well, nevertheless, I think white should be slightly better, at least slightly better in that position because of the advantage in space. So this plan with knight h5 and bishop to g5, in my opinion, is the most critical against this setup. But, of course, it's a question of taste. At least I think that this knight h5 and bishop g5 is something that makes me feel not very comfortable if I play with white. So there, white has to be very careful because it's really simple to get even the slightly worse position. But, well, if knight c5 followed by knight e7 is something that was recommended by some experts, most likely it's also possible. Okay, let's have a look. What do we have here? If knight f goes to d7, cd5, cd5, knight d5, ed5, bishop d5 should be checked, and knight captures on e5, d takes c5, and what is next? Bishop to h3, bishop takes a8, bishop takes f1, queen takes f1 most likely. And what's going on? White is kind of material up in that case. But normally I react with knight f to d7 to knight e5. What's wrong with this? I probably forgot something here. So knight f to d7, cd5, cd5, and knight e5 looks really annoying. Yeah, so maybe we should start with bishop a6 move here. Exerting pressure on c4, and then continue with the knight f to d7 a bit later. And in that case, if cd5, cd5, knight d5, ed5, bishop d5, knight takes e5, and bishop takes a8. It was possible immediately, by the way, because of... or maybe it was not. I don't know. So, yeah, if knight takes c5, bishop a8, and knight e5 goes to c6, black has, having two minor pieces against the rook and two pawns, but if white captures on e5, there is the rook which is hanging on a8. Okay. Now it should be playable. Knight f d7 again, cd5, cd5, knight e5, ed5, bishop d5, knight e5, d takes c5. The rook is still hanging, but there is bishop takes e2 tactics. All right, so now it should be playable. That's why it's important to have the bishop on a6, because there is this trick. So once again, if you follow the line, cd5, cd5, knight takes d5, ed5, bishop d5, attacking the rook. Then if knight takes e5 and d takes e5, rook is still hanging. If knight goes to c6, bishop takes, and so on. But we have bishop e2 trick, queen e2, queen d5. That's the idea. Okay, and in this case, it's no longer dangerous because now there is no sacrifice. If knight takes d5, ed5, bishop d5, rook simply goes away. All right, yeah. So, pretty pleasant position, I would say. How to put the pieces in the right squares? Where are the right squares here? Let's say bishop d6, queen e7 looks interesting. Slight improvement of the position. Starting with the rook to c8 should be also fine. We have only 1 minute on the clock, but we are playing with the increment, so I think it's okay. All right, so queen to e7 now. Maybe even intending to play bishop to a3. Looks like white's bishop is stupid there, but it's a good defender of the queen side in general. So it's one of the typical methods of weakening white's queen side. Should we do that, or just play bishop b4 and then double rooks along the c file? It's a good question. It's also an option for black, obviously. We can double rooks right now, though. Yeah, I think we're going to do this. Because why not? Rook c7. Maybe I'm blundering something like bishop d5, but we have intermediate capture on c3, so it should be okay. And rook on c7 is protected twice, so if knight d5, then e d5, and we're fine again. And this shouldn't be that great for white, because there is an isolated pawn now. Maybe I'm missing something. What to do now? Just take on c2 several times. And I think it should be okay. If we slightly simplify the position. And now, what is the next move? I think this move should be played, for sure. Now queen comes to c6. My god. Queen to c6 was super strong. I missed that move completely. Probably because of the situation on the clock. We're really short of time. And yeah, it could have been just the end for me. Now we are more or less fine, I think. Although still my position is full of weaknesses here. Yeah, I misplayed it. Misplayed it completely. White is much better now, probably just winning. Well, it's a winning position for white, I believe. Strategically, my pieces are not coordinated the right way. That's the thing. Oh my god. Alright, this gives me some time. I think d5 immediately was just the end for black. I would have played d5. Okay, I'm super lucky in this game. I mean, it was lost position, but for some reason my opponent just collapsed here. Banter Blitz Cup, is Ostrovskiy participating? No, I'm not participating. All have joined the show. Thanks for coming. Keep it Cyril. Okay, great. Thanks guys for coming. So what happened here? I just collapsed at some point. Maybe this rook c7 and rook to c8 was not correct at all. Instead, I could have tried different things, including bishop a3 I considered. Maybe something like bishop to b4 deserved attention, pinning the knight, so that it's harder for white to play e4. And we can see that there is no a3 move. Maybe I should have even controlled e4 additionally, like knight to f6. Yeah, probably simple move like knight to f6 was the easiest solution here, just to prevent e4. I mean, if white wants, white can still play something like that and then e4, but in that case I just simplify the things and I'm fine. So maybe here bishop to b4, pinning the knight. The rook is protected twice, so I'm fine here. I think there is no tactics. And if queen goes away somewhere, then the question is where, right? If queen goes to e3, then e4 is not even possible. Something like queen f4, I don't know if the queen is placed correctly there. Well, in general, position should be just balanced, so simply equal. Maybe slightly pleasant for black because black has slightly more active pieces here, but not more than that. What I've done was completely wrong. So I played rook to c7, then rook to c8, and then after e4, I found myself in a very complicated position because after all these simplifications, there is a sort of knight d6, and the problem is if bishop goes away somewhere, there's queen c7. But maybe what I missed here was this move. So bishop to b8 was interesting, although it looks a bit strange. But I keep my bishop on the board, first of all. I still control c7, so there is no queen c7, there is no queen c8. What I was afraid of potentially is this bishop to f1, trying to deflect my bishop. The point being, if I take the bishop, there is queen to c8 check. First of all, I have queen f8 here, and I'm fine with pair of bishops, or after the exchange on f8, just slightly better ending for black, I think, because white has isolated pawn and this stupid bishop on b2. But even something like bishop to b7 is possible. I'm not forced to take, right? I can just step back and I'm fine. Yeah, I think that bishop b8 was a move here, because what I've done was just so wrong. First of all, queen c6 was possible here, just already coming to a8 maybe. But again, even here, bishop b8 is not so clear, right? And I don't see how white is going to proceed. What white has played was also good. So knight e6, queen d6, and queen e4. Just creating a sort of queen a8, winning the pawn, or forcing me to play queen b8, which leads to the ending with pair of bishops for white in the open position. It's quite dangerous, I think, just better for white. And I don't know what to do here, to be honest. My pieces are just badly placed. Excuse me. So, after queen to c7, white could have played d5, and I think it's over for black. Positionally, just very bad position. Now, bishop b2 becomes a beast. And if I play something like knight to c5, there is queen to d4. My god, this position just sucks. Look at this g7. Look at this pawn coming to d6. b4 is possible in the next move. So many different threats. I don't know what to do here. So bishop b7 is not even possible. So I've seen this during the game. Just d6 wins the game. Because if I take the queen, there is d takes c7 and the pawn promotes. I cannot stop it. So that's the thing. And if I take or move my queen away somewhere, I don't know even where, then queen takes bishop. And that's it. Game over. So it was very close on him. You were very close. I was super lucky winning this game. Okay, let's continue. Do we have somebody else? I've never ever played before. Let's have a look. Doopy Loopy. Okay, let's play. I mean, that is going to be the very first game between us. So, yeah, Cthulhu we have played once, and against others we have also played at least one game. Okay, so let's see the third game today, and we have Rui Lopez on the board. A d3. Okay, everyone plays d3 against me these days. Let's try something like bishop c5. I think it should be okay to put the bishop here. Normally I play bishop e7, but this shouldn't be bad. All right, let's prevent bishop g5. I think it's potentially very annoying. And what is next? Just castling, I suppose. So the idea should be to play something like d6 at some point, protecting the pawn, and then threaten with knight to a5. It's also possible to play a5 with the pawn. If I go to a5 right now, there's just knight takes e5. I'm a pawn down. But maybe it was possible. So knight to a5, knight e5, knight to b3 was a move, and then taking on d5. Yeah, I missed that option. We can have a look at this after the games. Knight to a5 is interesting. Okay. Now what? Now we can play... first of all, is there a threat of d4 already? d4, e4, c4may be annoying for black. What if we play d6 now? Knight takes f6, queen f6, bishop d5, then bishop to d7 most likely. Something like d4, bishop goes away. Looks playable, so let's play d6, although dangerous, but I think it's fine. Maybe I'm missing something simple, but for now it looks like okay. What I have to do is just to go away with the rook, and then knight e7 will become a move. And rook g1, wow, that is very imaginative. So white is going just to attack, right? So something like g4, g5, And that's it for black. Black will be just smashed. What to do here? So if I play slowly, like rook b8, g4, knight e7, g5, he's already winning for white. Very close to that. Oh my god, my lord. This is so simple and so efficient. Maybe I should sacrifice the exchange, but that's just a bad position anyway. But I don't see a better option. If white plays g4 and I play g5, there is still h4. And I'm just smashed again. My lord. Yeah, this is very strong. This is just very strong. I don't know what's going to help me in this game to survive it. I mean, starts looking like a very bad position for black. Alright, that's the only move I see here. Just to get some play. Oh dear lord, this is so bad. Bishop g5, of course. Because if knight g5, I just give a checkmate in one, right? Yeah, but bishop g5 is good. Oh, I have some tiny compensation probably. Because I have pair of bishops and slightly better pawn structure. Rook g1, what a strong move. Oh. Okay, so what to do now? Let's just play d5, right? Because if the king is safe, it's over for black. So my only chance here is to open up the position. Maybe activate the bishops, I don't know. Let's see. But I should be aggressive. I'm just a material down here. What a nice game. I mean, it's interesting. Unless I'm blundering something right now, I mean, position looks in, well, not so clear to me. I guess after taking the rook on a8, white should have just played something simple, not necessarily this g4 was not needed anymore, I suppose. So now what? Knight to f4, aggressive. Bishop f4, ef4, queen f4, and then something like queen takes d3. I have no time though to calculate everything, but it looks, don't know. Looks interesting, so let's play it. So castling long was not so simple because of handing a2 pawn, but probably it was okay to sacrifice that pawn. So what I want to try here is bishop takes f4, then e takes f4, and if queen takes f4, something like queen takes d3, followed by rook e8 check, looks, well, dangerous for white. And in this case, I can take on a2, but again, if it gives me anything, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it gives me anything. Yeah, it's a bad position. I have no idea what to do here. Let's just take it. Don't have enough time to calculate. Yeah, it's just lost for me, I think. Let's protect it. Let's g7 for now. Yeah, very good game for white here. I don't know. Let's try a5, a4, a3. We're playing with the increment, so I'm still kind of controlling the situation on the clock. But it doesn't make my position better. But at least f7 and g7 are protected, which is great. So most logical objects of attack for white, I think. Okay, let's continue with this. Attack. Is it an attack even? I don't know. Queen to b3 was also very strong, just simplifying the stuff. I think was the best option. Still have some tricks. Okay, check. Let's get rid of the queen here. Let's try at least. Yeah. Yeah. We'll be smashed here, I think. Maybe I will be fine. What's going on here? Just a checkmate, right? Yeah, just a checkmate. I was super lucky in this game again. But that was great, right? Yeah. I mean, that was an interesting game. I was super lucky in the time trouble. I was lost, I believe. Yeah, what a great game. I mean, every position is kind of very delicious. Yeah, first of all, I believe that after winning the exchange, it was no longer necessary for white to play this g4. After simple bishop to e3, I think black is just lost, right? So you don't have to risk it anymore. Just play normal development move, prepare castling alone, and you have a winning position. That's the thing. So why would you take risks if you already have a big advantage, right? That's the thing. But g4 was still correct. I mean, was still okay. g5 takes queen e6. So again, here, if I were white, I would have played some like queen to b3, most likely. And I don't see black's compensation here, right? So just simplify the stuff. You have extra exchange. You should win gradually. All right, queen d2. Okay, acceptable. Probably instead of playing d5, I should have tried something like f5 instead. I mean, I see this move right now. I didn't see it during the game. I didn't even consider it. Looks a bit more logical if you ignore it. I can play f4 and your bishop is a bit misplaced. If you take, then I take with the queen attacking the knight, and bishop can go to c6. You have some weaknesses here. So it would have been much more interesting for black to try to open the f file. Why? Because, well, there is a weakness on f2 and on f3 and so on. All right, I played d5, you captured, and played knight to h4. So the normal move could have been just to take on h4, but then I was not sure if I had enough resources to protect my weakened king side. Because after bishop to f5, even something like rook takes g7 could be interesting. So the idea behind bishop f5 is not to take the pawn, but more like to play bishop to g6 to cover the g file. Otherwise, it's really simple for white to play bishop f6, queen to g5, or queen to h6. But still, after bishop f5, I don't know. Yeah, white's position is still much better, I guess. Yeah, and after knight f4 and castling, yeah, it was very strong. It was very strong. I didn't see what to do. You captured there, you captured an f4. Maybe instead of capturing my knight, you could have tried even something like, I don't know, bishop f6. Was it possible? Something like that. Attacking g7. I'm not sure, but looks very dangerous. So if I play something like that, you just go to b1, and even bishop to e6 doesn't create a threat because of queen a2. Yeah, maybe just a threat of a perpetual, but I don't believe in this anyway. So let's say you take there, king goes there. Okay, maybe you can even try something like b4 here. Probably here I have a perpetual after queen b3. And once again, I'm not sure because this king c1, and if queen there, then queen b2. So you're still kind of fine, but there are some tricks with knight takes d3 at some point, right? So maybe here knight takes, I don't know. So very, very complicated position. Yeah, but even the way you played was completely okay. So only the time trouble helped me to win the game. Thanks for it. So let's have a look. Do we have somebody I've never played before? CR Master. 1 minute. Thanks. Not going to play. So 5 minutes from Clasher. Let's play against the Clasher. One minute game is just too smart. Alright, Karakan. Our favorite exchanged variation. Which leads to a very simple position. Yet very, interesting one. Carlsbad reversed. I've been talking about it for long. Because that's my setup of choice in Blitz games, at least. So the idea is that I'm preparing knight to f3 here. If black plays something like queen e6 check, I always have bishop e3 back, so I'm fine with that. Because queen on e6 is also misplaced, and b7 will be hanging, and g6 is something new to me. So I know that there is this line with g6 and then bishop f5, but if black wants to do that, usually bishop remains on c8. What if I just play h3 here, asking the bishop bishop f5, I just take, and if queen takes f5, and I can take on b7, I believe, because the rook will be hanging, and the knight on c6 will be hanging. Yeah, so let's just clarify the thing. So 1 minute game, Andrey will need to speak at 4x speed. No, I mean, I would be forced just to be like, I don't know, silent, which is not interesting, I think. Well, we can try it, of course, if you want. But I think it's not about me. My thing is just to explain the stuff, right? That's why I'm here. All right, let's castle. And now I think, since castling is made, rook on a8 is no longer hanging. Black is going to play bishop f5 on the next move. Let's see, if I play rook e1, something that I usually play automatically here, bishop goes to f5, I capture. Queen captures, attacking my bishop. I can take on b7, at least I can consider that move. Then knight is hanging. If queen takes f4, I take on c6. I'm a pawn up. But what if after queen b7, black plays on like knight to a5? Then I can probably just go to a6, still attacking the knight. So maybe because of that hanging pawn, I can still play this move. So people say that I should play 1 minute. All right. So I will accept that challenge if it is still there. So the next game will be a 1 minute one. I'll be crashed, I think. Okay, let's go away with the bishop so that it's not hanging. So bishop f5 is not even an idea now. I can just take the bishop and then b7 will be hanging for nothing. Auto commentator, Andrey, please. Oh my god, there are so many challenges. I have to open the settings, find this auto commentator option, and I'm not even sure it will be there. 1 minute with auto commentator. Okay. All right, we will have a look at this. Very nice. Knight to e4. What if I just take on e4 with the bishop and after d takes e4 play d5? Is it an option? It doesn't feel like the correct direction for white. No, I don't think it's a good idea. What to do instead? Something like queen c2. Queen c2 can be an option. And then we will see, because if black plays f5, it should weaken black's position So it should be okay for me. And if black just takes on d2, okay, I will take with the queen. My queen on d2 will be also not so badly placed because h6 will be targeted already. Then maybe bishop f4 or something. Yeah. Okay. Interesting game so far. Not very typical for this opening line, but yeah, bishop f5 is just losing the pawn. Or I'm missing something. So knight e4, d takes e4, bishop b4. Maybe there is a tactics like knight takes d4, and if c d4, then queen c2. Yeah, that's interesting. So knight e4, d4, bishop b4, knight takes d4. If I take with the pawn, there's queen c2, bishop c2, bishop c2. But I can take with the knight. I think it will be anyway fine. So let's capture it. Otherwise, I'm just pawn up. So I think black's only chance here is to try this tactics. But if knight takes d4, I take with the knight. And then after bishop takes, I take the bishop on f5. And after g takes f5, the only move that saves the piece on the board, I have at very least much better pawn structure. Yeah, so it should be strategically winning position. So bishop d4. Of course, if I take, there's queen c2, regaining the material, at least regaining the piece. But I take on f5. If queen takes, I take, and take on d4, winning the piece. So if bishop d4, bishop f5, g takes f5, then I just take on e7, and I have extra pawn and much better pawn structure. That's the idea. Okay, so great if you have seen this knight e4 tactics before you played bishop f5, but as you can see, your calculation was probably not ideal. So capture on e7, right? What can be more natural? Now black's kingside pawn structure is a mess, and rook c7 is a threat. Direct threat here, winning some more material. Yeah, I think why not? Another option is just to come back to e3 and then to try g3 square. But come on, it's just a pawn, right? So why not? Rook c7, and then let's capture on b7. So 2 extra pawns now. I can take on a7 having 3 extra pawns. Should I do that though? Or just play rook b5 attacking f5, which is much more interesting object of attack? It's a good question. I prefer rook to b5 because I find this f5 pawn a bit more interesting object compared to a7 because it's closer to opponent's king, so to say. And in this case, I improve my pieces easily, like this. So if queen a2, then queen f5. All right, in this case, I also take on f5. So 3 extra pawns, absolutely winning position. The rest is just to convert the advantage. It's very big advantage. So bishop f4, just to prevent the checkmate in the back rank. And now rook d6 should be winning, right? Yeah, rook e1, king h2. Otherwise, the queen is attacked and the bishop is attacked. I don't see a good way for black to survive it here. So the calculation was wrong. Bishop f5 was not a good move. f5 was probably. f5 with the pawn was probably a move for black in this game. With the unclear position. Yeah, with some weaknesses, but black could have controlled a lot with the help of that move. All right, thanks for the game. So now let's have a look. Is there still this challenge with 1 minute? It disappeared. Or what happened? Yeah, it disappeared. All right. Anyway, let's play against CR Master. So there is no challenge with 1 minute. Instead, there is a challenge with 5 minute game. Alright. Maybe next time. Yeah, by the way, it's not a bad plan. So next time, on Thursday, it's planned, if I'm still alive, you can hear, so I'm completely ill, but I'm still optimistic about the show on Thursday, so we can try it. So 1 minute with auto commentator. Or maybe, I don't know. Maybe Kramnik Studio, maybe you can challenge me for 1 minute game. Or somebody else who's watching but not playing right now. I have no idea. CR Master is not going to play, I think. So we're waiting for a long time already. So I'll abort the challenge. And CR Master, if you want to, you can challenge again with 1 minute. You can try it. For now, I'm just going to Cthulhu and accept that challenge. I'm awful in 1 minute. Come on. I'm not perfect either, to be honest. I'm just very bad. Why didn't I capture on c6? I usually take on c6 in this situation. Can I take now? I don't know. Let's have a look. I think it should be playable for white. Just extra pawn, right? So I covered d4 square with a pawn, which means there is no queen d4. But black will have some compensation, I believe. Rook e8, knight goes back to f3, knight e4, d4, rook e4 check. Just play bishop e3, takes, rook e3, king f2, and queen on d1 is protected. Okay, that was a critical line, and I think because of that I'm fine. So, as for the rest, I'm not really concerned. Maybe I'm wrong. I have no idea. So rook goes to d8. I was going just to play this move. Looks pretty solid. Chewy says that there will be a 1 minute challenge. Okay, that's great. I think it's time to castle. So extra pawn for now. Let's see. Gonna play d4. Maybe then e5. Or maybe we should just continue with the development, like knight e2 first. Yeah, I like this move. Bishop f3 I take with the knight. Maybe my knight will go to b3. Maybe I'll play d4 and then knight to c4. Grabbing that bishop should be fine. Rook e8. Okay, going away from the open file, probably intended to stop me from a simple d4 move, but I can still play d4. I will give my opponent some space though in that case. Yeah, I'm not going to do that at all. So I'll play knight b3 now. Trying to get rid of that bishop with the help of pieces. And now I think just bishop e3. Yeah. Simplifying the stuff when you have extra material is pretty logical. So why not? So Chewy, alright. After this game we're going to have some fun with 1 minute. and auto-commentator. Something that I used only once, I think. It would talk about Banter Blitz stuff. Okay. Again, let's just ask the bishop. Maybe the guy is willing to take on f3. No. And that's correct, I suppose. Now let's just put the knight on c4. I like my position. So this bishop on b6 is quite bad. But if black plays in like a6 or c6, maybe I will just capture it. Damaging the pawn structure even more. It will be much more vulnerable in that case. Let's see. I mean, I'm not sure. Knight to d7. Let's play a4. Very natural follow-up of knight to c4. Even if I don't play a5, well, this pawn stops potentially black's b pawn from going to b5, which makes my knight on c4 quite strong. And now, the question is to take on b6 or not to take. Or maybe play something completely different, like g4. I like g4 idea. Maybe it was not necessary to be that aggressive, but why not? My pawns are in light squares, limiting that bishop. We can think of just playing knight to d2 and then f4. Is it correct though? Again, I'm not sure. Because bishop is going to go to c7. Maybe we should just play bishop f4, stopping it from doing it. I think this is a nice prophylactic move. Also, after c6, d6 was weakened, so there are some threats like knight to d6 or bishop to d6. Yeah, looks correct. Maybe I could have played bishop f4 even without playing g4. I don't know. Knight there, also logical. d6 is covered now. So I don't know, I can play a5 and then exchange dark square bishops. And f4 will be always weak. On the other hand, who cares? Now let's do it. Just a5. Nah. I missed one strong move for black. Knight to e6 first. Knight to e6 deserves serious attention. Now I control the things. c5 is handing, by the way. Or maybe not. d3 is also under attack. There is also another idea. Knight to e5 followed by f4. That's what I wanted to play here. Let's do it. Yeah, why not? After all, that's why I played g4. I wanted to push my f pawn eventually. It's like bishop h7, f4, f6, f5. And knight g5, h4, so I'm not against exchanging the pieces in that case. And here, well, let's play f4. Protecting the knight, so if b5, I just go away with the knight, no problems. Also creating a sort of f5 at some point. Again, this position looks pretty good for white. Rook a6 was also an interesting move. Maybe we can play it right now. What about rook to a6? Attacking b6, and if pawn moves, then c6 drops. Like b5, rook takes c6. And if not, then we can play f5, I believe. Is it a good idea? Yeah, why not? Let's do it. grabbing more and more space. And now the bishop is completely locked there. And we can even improve the position with the help of this move. Like controlling everything. b5 or right? What is the right square? Knight to a5 is possible. Yeah, I like this knight to a5 move. Attack in c6. I can take it, right? Yeah. And take here as well. How many pawns do we have here? I don't know, but just enough, I think. And look, this bishop is imprisoned. All right, so I won the pawn and then converted it, right? That's the thing. Probably after c3, black should somehow protect on e5. Protect e5, sorry. Okay, so auto commentator settings. Let's have a look. Where do we have it? Auto promote to queen, I can see it, all right. Where is this? What's going on? Where is the auto commentator setting? Can you actually give me a hint? I don't see this setting. It's there. I don't see it. Enable board coordinates. Show play zone recommendations. Show broadcast recommendations. Confirm moves on the board. Don't play with guests. It's the first option when you click. First option. Go back. Oh, here it is. That's right. It was easier than I expected. Okay, cool. So, where is our 1 minute challenge? Chewy, right? Accept.
Here we go. E4. E5. I hope you don't get crushed too soon. D6. Here we go. C3. Step by step. Rook E1. Baboom. A6. Knight A7. Knight C3. Give me that. Give me that. Give it to me. 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 Rook to B8. Looking for some action. B5. Sending our little pawn to the action. Queen E3. Wow, the knight comes to B3. B4, here we go. Bishop B5. Bishop C4. Queen A7. That's it. Do one. That's it.
That's it. All right, who else? Is there another challenge with 1 minute or something? I don't see it. Okay, so if you want to, you can play with 1 minute. Challenge me with 1 minute. So for now, I'm just going to switch off the auto commentator. And yeah, let's continue with normal time control. So here is Olaf. On him we have played already. Sorry, not going to accept one more game this time, so accept the challenge from Olaf. It was not very spectacular, I mean, this 1 minute one, right? Yeah, but auto commentator is nice anyway. So now the serious stuff. Hybrid variation. So I'm still playing 1 minute game. I mean, I have to slow down a bit. So let's castle here. I have exchanged my bishop, but we have a slightly better pawn structure here. So I believe this is going to be my compensation for missing bishop. So I'm trying to get to d4. That's my object of attack. If cd5 now, I would consider taking with a queen. If not, then I will just take on c4. Can I just take on d4 now? I think so. Don't see a big problem with this. So just extra pawn f3 is handy now. White has a terrible pawn structure here. Now there is no pair of bishops anymore. And look at dark squares. Look at dark squares. I think it's going to be a checkmate or something. At least I'm going to play for a checkmate now. So queen to f4 comes to mind with the idea of bishop d6. Attacking f3 at the same time. Should we try that, or maybe queen to h4? I don't know which one is better. Yeah, I will just play this move. Looks very logical. So I want to play bishop d6 next move. f3 is under pressure, so if white prevents bishop to d6, I will play queen takes f3. And in this case, I will just play this move. Although, you know, after bishop d6, rook goes away somewhere. But then there is a checkmate, right? Yeah. So I think it's over for white. Well, by the way, that 1 minute game was quite helpful. As you can see, I'm playing faster and much more efficient. Chess, which is nice. I don't see how to prevent a checkmate now. Just queen h2 and queen h1. Queen e2 is probably the worst move in that position, because king cannot escape. If rook goes away, I just take, and then queen h1 is a checkmate. Okay. So, who else? Excuse me, Leo. We have never played, by the way, so I'll accept that challenge as well. I've noticed that on days when I'm kind of ill and have no voice, I'm still playing not that bad. Maybe sometimes even better compared to normal days. Okay, there is another challenge. 1 minute from Olaf. Okay, so the next game will be against Olaf, but with auto-commentator and 1 minute. All right. So here we have French defense, though. Let's see. So let me win said, go Olaf no draw, and Olaf comments no draw. So let me win never give Olaf such an advice anymore. As you can see, it doesn't work the way it was expected, right? Okay, so one of the classic directions of French defense. I may be wrong, but I think it's called a Ukrainian system when black plays a6 and b5. At least there were lots of Ukrainian players, I think, who tried that. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. So, bishop goes to d3. Maybe queen to f2 is the right move. I don't remember the order of moves here. What? What is this? I don't understand this move at all. Confusing. All right, so we have different moves here. Queen f2, just bring the queen closer to the king side, I think. Should be okay. It's one of the moves here, by the way, when the knight stays on c5, white plays queen to f2. Yeah, very strange knight to b7 move. Very strange indeed. So what's going on here? Just typical French stuff. There is d4 square, which is an amazing outpost for the knight. That bishop is quite bad. And this maneuver, well, I can just stop that knight this way. I can even play it right now. Just saying that, come on. The whole maneuver was not correct. So I simply stopped with one pawn move. And now the knight on a5 is completely misplaced. Okay, let's castle now. Or just queen g3 immediately. I don't know. Both look good. And in this case, I'm not going to exchange queens, although I can. But I believe that knight to d4 is a bit more sort of fighting chess. But in that case, I can only help my opponent to solve the problem that knight on a5. So if I play knight d4, there's an exchange on d4, then bishop d7, knight to c6. So it's basically what black wants here. Okay, what to do instead? Instead, I'll just undermine this pawn, creating a direct threat of just taking on b4. And if b takes a3, this leads to a better pawn structure for me. I just take on a3, then bring another rook to a1 and just attack a6 directly. And if queen takes f2, I just take with the king. Also a good ending for me. And after knight to b7, I think I can already just do what? Play knight to d4, because now there is no knight c6 threat. Yeah, it looks logical. So white is very flexible here, changing plans. Yeah. I'll probably just take it on a7 was a good idea than taking on b4. I don't know. Looks good. This way or another. In this case, I just win a pawn, I think. Because the knight was protecting b4. Just take the knight first, then take on b4. Extra material, still much better pawn structure, and it's really cool. The knight is again quite limited with my pawns. So poor knight. That's the main reason why black is going to lose this game, I think. Alright, we're getting closer to the game against Olaf with 1 minute time control and auto commentator again. a6 drops as well, or maybe doesn't. What if I take on a5? If knight takes, then b4. Well, first I will attack the bishop, of course, to exclude the lines where the bishop protects the rook. So bishop will go to d7 now. Then I will take on a5. If knight takes, then b4 wins a piece. If rook takes, I take, and then bring another rook to a1, and then get to a8, winning the game instantly. So, in a much better position, it's not a big deal to find the winning continuation. When your pieces are correctly placed, it's just super simple. Maybe knight c6 is still holding, though. Yeah, knight c6 was possible, although after that... after something like this, black is anyway super passive, so I think it's not a big deal for white to win this position. Extra material, right, you can just push your b-pawn, so. Okay, so let me activate the auto commentator and accept the challenge from Olaf. 1 minute. Accept. Playing with white pieces.
g3.
Here we go. Olaf, where are you?
c5. Knight to c6. c3, step by step. g6. Knight to b8. Knight a3. Boom! Ba-boom! d5. a6. Knight c7. Boom! Ba-boom! Knight to e4. Give me that. Give me that. Give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. B6. Check, 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 check. Bishop f8. Give me your pawns, baby. The king comes to g7, looking for some action. Give me your pawns, baby. Rook e2. Give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. Rook to a2. Interesting. Wow, rook to a5. Bishop to g7. Check, 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 check. King h6. King to g5. Come on, I agree with Radio Jan. You should never play chess. The king comes to g7, looking for some action. Checkmate, checkmate, checkmate.
Right. So anyone else with 1 minute? It's really funny. Yeah, the clasher is here. Actually, this is a 9. So what says Graphic Student? What is a 9? Auto-commentator? So you have suggested that. Come on. So you got what you wanted. Okay, one more. Looks fine.
g3.
The clasher, 1 minute. Oh, my 1 minute rating is
d5.
actually higher than mine.
Knight to f6.
Okay.
Knight f3.
Interesting.
c5. Give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me.
Oh my fucking god, this is really
c3, step by step. h3. Knight to c6. Knight to e5. The beautiful knight comes to d3. Give me that. Give me that. Queen to c7. f4. Seriously?
Yeah.
Knight comes to d6. Boom! Ba-boom! Queen to c7. Rook d8. Queen to c7. Bishop f8. Queen to a5. That's it, you won, that's it.
Auto-commentator will reduce one's elo by 100 points, I guess. I don't know. But it's a nice challenge. I mean, you have to concentrate. Anyone else? Okay, doodly pulley. 1 minute. Let's accept.
Hey, Macarena. Ay. Knight to f6. Knight f3. d6. Here we go. e5. I hope you don't get crushed too soon. a5. Be careful with this guy. The knight comes to a6. Bishop to e3. Queen to d2. h5. f4. Seriously? Bishop to g4. Give me that. Give me that. Boom! Ba-boom! King h8. What are you doing in that corner? Here we go with c6. Queen to e8. I hope chess is not your specialty. Give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. Knight d7, looking for some action. Rook to c8. Queen e7. Bishop to f6. The king comes to g7, looking for some action.
Yes. No, it's actually very funny. All right, let's get back to 5-minute game. Facundo Rotundo, accept. All right, so as you can see, my normal blitz rating is lower than
b3.
my... Oh shit, I have forgotten. Sorry for that. That's enough. Enough for Cuenca today. So... Arthur says, okay, I'm not challenging. All right, but thanks for coming anyway. Yeah, cool. I haven't played 1 minute games for a long time. For a long time. As you can see, I'm not that bad there. Not that bad. Bishop d6 looks a bit strange, right? But the idea is just to castle quickly, play rook e8, and then go away. And if white takes on c6, it's something very similar to... Something very similar to Ruy Lopez when white captures on c6. Alright, this justifies completely my setup, I think. Because the main problem with the bishop d6 is that it blockades on pawn on d7, and the bishop c8 doesn't have a simple way to be developed for some time, but after bishop c6 and d takes c6, come on, it's no longer the case. So I wouldn't take on c6 for sure. Now just castle him, right? Yeah, why not? So we have pair of bishops here. We're going to play bishop f5, I think, or maybe a rook to e8, maybe c5 attacking this queen. Depends on what white is going to do here. Maybe even something like bishop g4, provoking some weaknesses. Don't know. Let's see. Queen to e7 looks also like a good move, intending either bishop a3 or bishop e5. Once again, depends on what white is doing. So knight is going to c4, I suppose. So here I think bishop f5 can be an interesting try. But then e4 is unclear. So bishop e4, knight e4. I cannot take with a knight because of queen g7 checkmate. But I can play rook e8. Then f3. Not clear to me. Maybe I should start with the c5 move, but then I close my own bishop. Bishop f5, e4, and just rook e8. Or maybe queen e7. No, also doesn't look very satisfying. Okay, I'll play queen e7. So if knight goes to c4, I can play bishop b4 check. In which case, if white plays c3 with the pawn, I just go back to c5, and that bishop on b2 is stupid. And in general, after queen e7, I want to do what? I want to exchange darks with bishops. And this is not going to work. I just take with the queen. Come on. It's just a big blunder. Queen e7. One of the ideas was just to prevent this knight e4 move, by the way. Obviously, it works if I take with the knight, then queen g7 checkmates, but I can just take with the queen. And that's it. So now I know what to do, actually. So I should play more 1 minute games. It's really cool. I'm getting to the right state of mind easily. So I think faster. after this 1 minute games. Thanks, Kravnik student. You suggested an amazing thing. This is gonna increase my power the next time. I will mix. From now on, I'm going to mix normal games with 1 minute, annotated by one of the greatest commentators ever. All right. So this is very good position for black, I suppose. Just a winning one with extra minor piece and no compensation. I'll take that one. So there is nothing to command here, just extra minor piece. Okay, so 94, just a blunder. Nothing special. Okay, so here's Chewy with 5 minute game. I think it will be alright to accept that challenge, because we have played only 1 minute game. So let's play a normal one. Maybe one day a Banter Bullet. Well, it's too much, I think. But just a good mix, right, of 5 and 1 minute games. I think it will do it. So here we have Real Opus exchanged, which means black has pair of bishops, and I have slightly better pawn structure. So the idea is normally to exchange D and E pawns. I'm not sure that B5 is a good idea. I can take on E5 now, right? Then the only trick possibly is queen to E8 attacking my knight, and if I play D4 there's knight E4, and if I play bishop F4 there's knight to H5. Well, it's kind of tricky. I'm not sure if black blundered or planned that, but after knight takes E5 and queen E8, things are not simple. Maybe I can take on E5, queen E8, play D4, and if knight takes E4 then rook E1, and if knight goes away I have knight G6, if bishop goes to F5 there's knight H4. Yeah, tricky but interesting line. Let's try it. Extra material now. In this case, I don't see compensation at all. So no pair of bishops, pawn structure is still worse. And yeah. Okay. Let's bring the bishop to G5, intending to play queen F3, as simple as that. Or maybe we will just do this. This is also an idea. If queen F6, then knight E7. If G takes F6, well, position is just lost. In addition to extra material, we have an overwhelming pawn structure here. So, no, I mean our pawn structure is not overwhelming. It's just much better than black's one. This knight is actually not worse than the rook. But anyway, why not to take the exchange as well? Now let's bring that rook to E3, then to G3, I think. Or let's just exchange the stuff and push our pawns. By the way, rook on E1 and rook on F1 look very natural here, supporting our pawns. Let's just push them further and further. Okay. Let's just push our pawns. So it's time for the rook to be relocated to a bit more active position, I suppose. And now the king should join the fight as well. There will be no breakthrough here. I'll just prevent all the counterplay there. Okay. I was about to play rook to h1. Very nice. Which is obviously very stupid. So. Like this. g7 and rook e8 and checkmate. Yeah, so what to say here? After knight takes e5, it was interesting to try this. At first I didn't see a good way to proceed here, but the thing is, if I play bishop f4, first of all, knight has no moves to go away. That's why it's not so simple, probably. And after knight h5, things are not clear at all. But I believe that d4 was acceptable here, and if black takes this way, then rook goes to e1, attacking the knight, and if knight goes away, there is knight to g6 at very least. So that's the idea. Queen is hanging, rook is hanging. So that's the thing. But black can't protect it with a pawn here. Now I see it. So the move I didn't see during the game. For some reason I expected only something like bishop to f5, in which case we have this super annoying trick, just attacking the bishop. And it's kind of not so simple to hold all this central formation. So yeah, maybe d4 is not so cool. Well, there was of course something like knight takes c6 and then e5, regaining the piece, but again, it's not a clear position to me. So yeah, I'm a pawn up still, but after something like bishop to g4, I'm not sure if white is better, right? So that's the thing. So probably, yeah, after b5, I should have played something else, not taking on e5, maybe taking on d6, maybe playing knight to a5, attacking that weakness. I have no idea, maybe knight e3 or something. Knight takes c5 didn't, should give me what I wanted. In the game, it worked out because black just captured on e5 immediately. In that case, black has no compensation. Okay. I think I'm going to play the last game today. Always blame the mouse. You'll be my choice. So I'm playing with black pieces. Queen c8 is still okay for black after knight h4, but then c6 drops. Yeah, I mean, it's okay for sure, but... And by the way, there is queen f3 after queen c8, attacking the bishop and the knight on e4. So I believe f5 with the pawn is the right move there. Yeah, I understand. Knight f5, knight h4, queen c8, I can take on c6 because it's now hanging. And I can also play queen to f3, attacking the bishop and the knight on e4. It's answering the prom knight's comment. So English opening here in this last game. So it's not very traditional way of playing it, what I'm doing right now on the board. But it's interesting anyway. Just attacking White's knights here. Trying to win some tempi for my development. Nice. I've just blundered knight to b5 move. Oh my god. Yeah, that was stupid. I'm going to be punished for this. Lack of concentration. So now White has definitely a better position. Look at my bishop on c8. It's so poor. Oh gosh. Yeah. I know it was coming. Sooner or later. Too many 1-minute games. Alright. So let's try to survive it if it is still possible though. Not sure. Such a bad position. Let's try at least to complete the development. I mean, even bishop h6 is playable now, I think. I mean, maybe it doesn't give White a lot, but I have so bad pawn structure here that something surprising may come. Alright, this is also logical. So I think I have to play f6 here. I don't have any other logical move. Bishop f6 takes f6, king f7 looks fine. Knight f6, g f6, bishop f6, simply castling. There is queen g3. Yeah, so simple castling. It's not that simple. Okay. But anyway, do I have anything better than f6? Maybe simply castling right now, but then knight e7, knight e7, queen d6 is a 9. I don't know, let's try it. I don't remember when it was the last time I had such a bad position. Oh, this way. Okay, I will take it. Is it really that bad? Well, it definitely gives White serious initiative, I think, but not this way, I guess. So now I just play knight f5, right? Attacking the knight on f6. So I'm getting 2 minor pieces instead of 1. Come on. It was too much. I think instead of taking on d6 with a queen, knight to e4 deserves serious attention. Now black should be just winning. It's 2 minor pieces. It's just a lot. Come on. It's just a lot. e4. Okay, I can play this move. Just spinning the pawn. Activating the rook. And if castling, I can play this nice move. Look at this. Attacking the queen and pinning the queen at the same time. Yeah, playing 1-minute games was definitely helpful. Look at this. Pretty sharp in my play. That's the easiest way to simplify the things, right? To get rid of queens. So let's remove knight takes h6, also the bullet player trick to remove stuff. Because I really don't see what White can do instead of taking my queen. Queen was hanging there. So, and it was pinned. So. Alright, so White has several pawns, like 3 pawns, but for 2 minor pieces, not for 1. So how to convert it? First of all, I'm not satisfied with my knight here, like at all. It's placed badly. At the same time, I want to separate pawns so that if white plays c5 at some point, I can attack the pawn with the rook to a5. Now we definitely should regroup. The question is how. Maybe knight should go to f7, right? To get rid of that rook there. c5, as I said before, just wanted to play this move against it, attacking c5. That's the idea was, that was the idea behind a4 move. Against bishop to h6, again, answering the comment of Prom Knight, I wanted just a castle, intending to play knight to g6 if queen gets to g3, so I didn't want to accept the sacrifice for sure. So the question is if white can survive it. No, come on, it's just absolutely winning position for black. Two minor pieces, two. It's not one, there are two. It's just too much. Okay, what to do now to simplify further, I think. Let's try it. So d6 is not hanging. Let's bring the rook to active position. Should probably stop this guy's here. Now we have a target. That is b3. So let's attack this b3 with all of our pieces because we have several extra units. This is not gonna work, my friend, because I have trained a lot with 1 minute games today. Come on, I see this tactics instantly. Okay, so let's get back to the situation when I missed that knight to b5 move. That was so bad position. I mean, this is lost for black for sure. Strategically, it should be just that. By the way, there was a move, even the move knight to b6 was possible here. I'm just trying to say that, indeed, white's position is so great here that even something like that is possible. Maybe it's not needed, but I mean, white can do whatever white wants to do here. By the way, what about this ugly pawn on e4? What about just playing this move? Is it even possible for black to protect e4 here? Because if white plays, black plays knight f6, then just take on d6, take on f6, take on e4. Black can resign. If something like f5 is being played, then I think this is a great weakening of the position. Maybe there may be a problem with g7 even very soon. Like, I don't know how, but yeah, just take it on d6. Or maybe playing c5 now then. I have bishop e5. Alright, but even the way you played was absolutely okay. Knight d6, cd6, then d3, yeah, that's absolutely correct. Takes there. Maybe something like bishop to e3 deserved attention here, creating a shred of bishop b6. That is something that looks amazing for white. Instead of recapturing there, just winning a tempo, because I have to play rook a6, I guess. Otherwise, after bishop b6, my pieces are just inboxed there. So rook a6 is absolutely forced. Yeah, this is a terrible position for black. Come on. Something like queen d3. So the same, but with the inclusion of bishop e3, which is good because you prepare castling. This super ugly rook to a6. Okay. So okay, queen d3 cannot be bad, obviously. But bishop e3 was better, in my opinion. And after knight to e7, yeah, bishop h6 deserves serious attention. But I think it's not needed. So what is so much better here? There should be a simple way to prove it. For example, Something like queen g3 maybe. Maybe bishop f4. Something like that. Queen to g3, for example. Attacking g7 and d6 simultaneously. Yeah, I mean... yeah, it's lost. Come on. No questions. So, I was super lucky here in this game. Alright guys, thanks a lot for being with me, and thanks a lot Kramnik student to actually direct me towards this 1 minute with auto commentator. Was really funny, and next time we're going to do the same, so to mix normal serious games, well, serious, with this 1 minute, I think was good. Wish you all the best and hope to see you this coming Thursday. Bye bye.